Wow, look at these dragons! They're so cool! I wish they were real. Maybe this book is magic. It's glowing! Something's happening! A real dragon! It's flying!
Hashtag the Lotus and the right moment. In an ancient village beside a sacred lake, there lived a young woman named Mira. Every single day, she would walk to the lake's edge and stare at the muddy water with quiet longing. "Where is my lotus?" she would whisper. She had heard from her grandmother that somewhere beneath the dark mud of this lake slept the most beautiful lotus in the world. But no matter how many mornings she came, the surface remained still, green and empty. Her friends had stopped coming long ago. "There is nothing there, Mira," they laughed. "Stop wasting your mornings." But Mira kept returning, not because she was foolish, but because something deep inside her knew, the way the bones know rain before the clouds arrive. One morning, an old monk sat beside the lake, his eyes closed, his breathing like the rhythm of seasons. Mira sat near him quietly, not wanting to disturb his peace. An hour passed, then two. Finally, the monk opened his eyes and looked at her gently. "What are you waiting for, child?" "My lotus," she said simply. "I know it is here, but it never comes." The monk smiled, the kind of smile that holds 1,000 sunrises inside it. "Tell me," he said, "can you pull the sun faster across the sky because you are impatient for morning?" Mira shook her head. "Can you rush the mango to ripen by shaking the tree?" "No," she whispered. "Then why," he asked softly, "do you think love, the most sacred thing in existence, should arrive on your schedule?" Mira felt something shift inside her chest, like a door, long closed, slowly opening. The monk continued. "A lotus does not struggle to bloom. It does not panic in the darkness. It does not compare itself to other flowers that bloom faster in easier soils. It simply grows, quietly, faithfully, through the mud, trusting completely that light exists above, even when it cannot yet see it." He paused. "The mud is not your enemy, Mira. The waiting is not punishment. Everything is preparing you for the moment you are ready to receive what was always meant for you." Mira looked at the still water with new eyes. For the first time, she did not see emptiness. She saw preparation. She changed after that day. She stopped gripping the future with anxious hands. She began to water herself instead, reading, learning, sitting in stillness, loving the people already beside her more deeply. She stopped asking when and started asking, "Who am I becoming while I wait?" She smiled more. She rushed less. She breathed deeper. Seasons turned. One quiet morning, almost a year later, Mira walked to the lake as usual, not searching, not longing, simply being. And there it was, a single perfect lotus, risen from the very mud she had stared into for so long. Pure white, untouched, glowing softly in the early light, as if the universe had placed it there, like a whispered promise kept. Tears filled her eyes, not from sadness, from recognition. It was always coming. I just had to become someone worthy of seeing it. She never plucked it. She sat beside it every morning. She watched it open fully each day and close gently each night. She learned from it how to be fully open in the right moments and gently closed in others, how to rise from darkness without bitterness, how to be beautiful without needing to be possessed. Years later, young girls from the village would come to Mira with their restless hearts and burning questions. "How do I find love?" they would ask, and Mira would bring them to the lake, sit quietly beside the lotus, and say, "Stop looking for it. Start growing toward it. Be patient. Be faithful. Be still. Everything comes to you in the right moment." And every time she said those words, somewhere beneath the surface of the sacred lake, another lotus seed stirred in the darkness, quietly, faithfully, beginning its long and beautiful journey toward the light.
Look, the dragons are coming alive. Wow, they're flying. This is the best story ever. Yeah.